Hello and welcome to Fluffhammer. So here today I'm doing a how to paint Chainrasp hordes, or how I painted Chainrasp hordes. So we're starting off with some nihilak oxide and Larmian medium. We're going to do 2 parts nihilak oxide to 3 parts Larmian medium over a Corax white spray undercoat. And all we're going to do to start with is just literally cover the entire model with this wash. Now, because this wash is quite light, 3 parts Larmian medium to just 2 parts of the wash, it will kind of settle in all the recesses, but it will also actually still give us quite a nice highlight. Because of the white undercoat, you'll still get the high points of the model showing through from that. So just cover the whole model in that wash. Okay, so now our wash is dry. We're going to do the next layer of wash again. This time we're going to be using 1 part Larmian medium to 1 part Coelia green shade. So this isn't going to be an all over wash, this is just going to be a selective wash. So we're going to select like the darkest recesses, so where you've got tears in the cloth, where you can see like deep holes in the shade and stuff like that. Basically where the Larmian medium and nihilak wash has settled the most will give you a darker shade anyway, so you'll be able to see where it's darker. We're going to just darken that down again a little bit more, but basically just doing this shade just adds another layer of colour, and it just, you know, kind of gives a bit more depth to the model. So we're going to go around the model now and we're going to apply that into all the deepest recesses. Okay, so now we've let the wash dry about 30 minutes for the mix with the Coelia green shade, and probably about 30 minutes in between the first wash as well. We're now going to go and add some highlights. I'm using this scale 75 range, purity white, and I'm just going to go around, add some edge highlights, and then I'm going to pick up, it's mixed 50-50 with water, so what I'm going to do is pick up some of the flat surfaces as well, just to smooth them out. And then I will be adding edge highlights as well to the really sharp edges. As you can see now, I'm just following around the cloak, picking out all the raised edges, and this is basically gonna help really define the model, give it the ghostly look that you really want. White is obviously a brilliant colour for that, so this is what we're doing right now. Okay, here we have the model after the white highlights are finished. As you can see, I'm just going to spin it around so you guys can see as I've gone through all the edges and some of the flat surfaces just to smooth it out with the white and give us our highlights. Highlighted the face, the teeth, the fingers and any ridges on the cloak. Next up we're going to go with lead belcher, and this will be for the chain which goes around his neck, and also the weapon, which we're now about to do. Okay, so with the chain and the weapon both painted with lead belcher, we're now going to move on to Eshin Grey, which is going to be for the gravestone and bits of rock that he has attached to his base. This is going to be a base coat straight over the white of that, so literally just applying that straight onto all the rocky areas, as you can see around here, following just around the bottom of his base. Over the white undercoat, the Eshin Grey was quite thin. I thinned it 50-50 with water, which you're better to do 2 thin coats and keep it smooth than you are to do 1 thick coat. So you'll be able to see the first coat here. The second coat I did off camera just to speed it up a little bit. Okay, so now the stone on the base and the weapons have been done. We're now going to go over with Agrax Earthshade, and we're going to apply a wash to all the stone areas, all the grey that we've just done with the Eshin Grey, and also apply the wash over the metallic areas as well. So I'm just using this straight out of the pot, straight over the metallics on the weapon, and also straight down the chain hanging from his neck. shaft of the weapon with Abaddon Black, and we're now going to be doing a two-stage highlight. The first is with Rust Grey, Citadel layer paint, and as you can see you're just dragging a thin line just straight down the centre of the weapon, and also just towards the edge at the bottom as well, where we've just highlighted that. That just gives us a nice kind of light source effect. Next on to Sterling Mud on the base. As you can see, just kind of skipped through that a little bit. It's just Sterling Mud, and then we're going to do Dryad Bark around the base rim on the model. Okay, so the base is now dry, the rim and the Sterling Mud texture. So now mixing up some Vallejo Rust pigment with isopropyl alcohol. And basically you're trying to mix this into kind of a paste, and you want it more of the texture probably similar to Sterling Mud on the Citadel texture paint. This is just quite an advanced stage. You don't have to add this if you don't want to. Games Workshop also do their own brand of rust paints, which is Riser Rust, I believe, and you can just kind of dry brush that on. So there are other alternatives if you wanted to just keep it simple and maybe just do a little dry brush of rust rather than adding the weathering pigments. I just like the texture that they give on the model because it actually builds up like a powder when it dries. So as you can see, you're just kind of going over with a dry brush now and just wiping it away from the high points of the chains, so the rust is just in the recesses. And then over to Scale 75 Speed Metal, and this is going to be our highlight colour to just highlight the edges of the spikes and the centre of the chains, just to give us a highlight colour on our metal. Okay, with the metal complete, we're now going to do the base. We're going to dry brush it first with Citadel XV88, then Zamisi Desert, then Ushepti Bone. Now the dry brush is complete, we're going to get PVA glue and some static grass. This part here is just kind of random really, you kind of just apply it wherever you want the grass to be. You're better off to put less on and then be able to add more afterwards. This bit's a little bit out of focus, so just trying to get my hand in the right direction so you guys can see what I'm doing. Basically just dabbing PVA onto the base and then using that to stick on the static grass. And here we're just clumping on the static grass out of the pot. Basically once we've clumped this all on, let it dry for a few seconds and then give it a kind of a tap off. Just tap the edge of the rim basically, and then give it a good shake and a blow off, and here we have that. So the model's nearly complete now. All we're now going to do is add these little pink flowers, which I got from a company called Serious Play. And we're going to add these flowers to match up with the spirit hosts, which you can find in my other videos on here. And here is the model complete. I used super glue to stick the tufts on, and this is the end of the model. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the tutorial. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Please like, subscribe and share it with your friends, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks a lot.